should.
Hello and welcome to Chasing Light. This is another episode, and hopefully you've enjoyed the one so far. Today I'm joined by Jenna. I'm going to butcher your surname, but I'm pretty sure it's Jenna Pippuri or Jenna Pippuri. You can obviously correct me on that in a second, Jenna.
Yeah.
Jenna's all the way from Finland, so appreciate your time today for joining us in our UK time schedule. I don't think the time's too bad between us. But Jenna, I'm so excited to speak to you. Obviously, you've had a whole different experience to everyone else over in Finland. So
Really.
yeah, so let's kick off with how has it been over in Finland, and how are you, sort of thing.
It's been hard
Yeah.
during the pandemic for me. Um, right now we are at the third wave going, and we have a kind of lockdown
Okay. So you're a
going
very
on.
similar position to you're in a very similar position to the UK then.
Yeah, we have all the restaurants are closed, all the theaters,
Hmm.
cinemas. So there's not a lot to do right now.
And how does that reflect on sort of being creative and as a photographer? Does it is there lots of restrictions on you at the moment?
Yeah, well, like a year ago, it was at the beginning it was a bit easier because I could go to forest and places, and there were no other people there. But now, because it's been a whole year, it's been kind of a hard, and I'm sorry.
No, no, no. Honestly, I completely honestly take your time. I understand this
Yeah.
is obviously a second language, so
Uh,
it's it's been hard. And
yeah, because it's sometimes I kind of lose the um,
would you say,
kind of inspiration.
yeah, motivation perhaps? Is that what you're?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And so
I guess. Do you ever feel?
yeah, I haven't been photographing for a while now, like a couple of months maybe, because I just haven't had any inspiration really.
And
Uh, yeah,
are you on your own in Finland, or are you with family, or?
yeah, I live by myself, so
And
my family lives actually quite close to me, so I can still see them.
okay, that's good. That's good. So
Yeah,
would you say perhaps being lonely has impacted you then? If
uh, really yes, because yeah, I can't really see all of my friends. Some of them live far away. Some of them live quite close still, but I just feel like it isn't the right time to go and meet people.
and it's interesting you've said that because sort of I feel like the photography that you've sent me for the book for the project that we're all working on together in your
Yeah,
chapter is a lot of it is sort of very quiet, and you've very nicely encapsulated sort of loneliness in itself around Finland. One
yeah,
of the standout shots was, I want to say, is it a duck on a pond in black and white?
yeah.
And really, I
I
mean, for the
think it's
people,
kind of yeah a goose or something. If yeah,
for the people at home who haven't seen Jenna's work yet, and obviously, hopefully they'll go and check out your work afterwards. It's sort of the perfect frame in terms of capturing silence almost. And is that sort of a metaphor for how Finland's been? Has Finland been quite quiet?
yeah, it has. And I think it's quite easy for me to shoot photos like that right now because anywhere I go, there's just no people anywhere.
And
Uh, in
it,
places that usually would be crowded.
I was going to say, is that a real difference? Because obviously, in some rural areas of the world, being quiet is quite a normal thing. But from where you're from, is it a city? Is it a big town?
Yeah, I live in Espoo, which is a kind of big city. It's right next to Helsinki, which is the capital.
Oh wow, okay. Sorry, I didn't
Yeah,
realize that. So yeah, of course. So you're used to being busy. Um, so
yeah,
this is very different for you. And
yeah,
so, a few of the photos you talk about them being to do with family and things like that, and that's the way you kind of see them. And with particularly with the bear cub and the bear parent, I guess is that the way you would say it. Um,
yeah.
Funny, I never thought about what a parent bear would be called, but um, just a bear. But it, it's an interesting way of looking at it again because there's quite a lot of negative space in that image, and yet your eyes are still drawn to sort of the subject being the bears in focus, but the way you kind of tell your story is so full of capturing negative space and silence, and the fact that it's all in black and white within the chapter, I think, is quite poetic to what's going on right now. And do you think your style might sort of change after lockdown was to finish,
Yeah,
or
definitely.
yeah, you do?
And
You think
what I
so?
think about some of the pictures, the bear picture was taken last summer when the first wave was
Hmm.
kind of going away and things started getting better. So when I look at the picture now, it kind of tells a different story than it did last summer.
Okay, yeah. So sort of, I know exactly how you feel, because here in the UK there were points where we thought we were getting back on top of it and we could see the
Yeah,
light again at the end of the tunnel, and it's sort of that feeling of escapism, which is what this project's all about. And we want people to, use photography to get out there and feel comfortable amongst the world as it is right now. And like we said, sort of find that light at the end of the tunnel. And has photography kind of been a nice way of doing that for you then during all these lockdowns?
yeah, sure. It's kind of when I'm feeling low and down
Mm.
and I don't know what to do in life or something. It's still easy if I have a small inspiration or motivation to go and shoot something. Then I usually go outside and just look at things, maybe a
Yeah.
different way than I would without a camera. So
And
yeah,
is the camera always with you, or do you just sometimes like to just go out there and see the world with your eyes, sort of?
it's not always with me, and but I try to take the camera with me as many times as possible.
Yeah,
And
cool.
yeah, sometimes the best image that I can see, and then I don't have my camera with me. So
And that's that's a real shame, isn't it, when that
yeah,
happens? Because you,
I have missed a lot of good shots.
but and I guess the argument to that is, although you've missed the shot, you've still seen some beautiful things. And
Yeah,
you know, from the UK, seeing some of the nature that you've got in the book, especially with the bears, that's something that's almost, you wouldn't see anything like that in the wild over in this country. Um,
yeah.
and for you, that must be quite normal, no? Or
With the bears, no.
oh,
uh,
really?
yeah, no. That was my first time seeing bears in the wild,
Oh,
actually.
wow. And
So it was 20 years before I saw them for the first time.
that's incredible.
Uh,
So
yeah,
that was a whole new
uh,
thing.
yeah.
Do,
But
do you?
all the moose and deer and animals like that, they are quite common.
Okay,
So
okay.
we can see all the time.
Do you think bears being seen was to do with how quiet it is over in Finland at the moment? Lack of people out and about, or was it just complete luck of pure chance that you saw them?
Well, I think it was both of them
Hmm.
because we stayed in a small hut
Hmm.
that was built for photography,
Hmm.
but we waited for about 2 hours before even the first bear came inside.
Really?
Yeah, so we weren't even sure if we were gonna see any of them.
Were you there solely for bears, or was it just to get out?
Yeah,
That,
so
that, that was.
it was a private area, so we had the permission of the owner to go
Oh,
there and shoot. So we went there, or the owner took us there into the hut, and we stayed there. There was about two other photographers with me.
oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
and do you find that even when we're in these lockdowns and things like that, you've kind of met new people through photography? Has that happened?
Quite a few times, yes, but not too often.
Not too often, but
Yeah.
is photography quite a popular thing in your area?
I think it is. People like to photograph different styles, maybe. I think
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
street photography here is a bit more common because I live in a city, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
But anytime I go to national parks or just forests nearby, there are some people just photographing birds and just the nature. So yeah,
And would you say they're probably all out for the same sort of reason as you at the moment, in that they just want to get outside?
yeah, of course, yeah.
And so like, let's go backwards a little bit and let's go before COVID. Um, how long have you been taking photos for then, Jenna? Is it quite a recent thing? Have you been going? Have you? When did you first pick up a camera?
I've been photographing quite a long time actually. I
Okay.
started at a really young age with a small digital old camera, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yep. Yep.
I just took pictures here and there, just not really a thought
Uh,
behind it. But my family bought our first DSLR camera.
okay.
I think it was 10 years ago, maybe. So
Wow.
that's when I started to learn and be better, maybe.
And
And bought
ever
my
since,
own.
yeah.
Yeah, I bought my own camera. I think 5 years ago,
Hmm.
and since then I've been just taking more and more pictures and trying to get better.
No, and I think, you know, for the people at home watching and for the people at home listening as well, like, you're sort of, you can see your growth on your account. You can see the work, how it's developed, and how
Yeah,
far you've come. You've really developed your own specific style. There's not many styles like yours, and you're finding art in spaces that people wouldn't necessarily. You've got an incredibly good eye for art, I would say.
yeah,
Is
that's
that
what
something that,
I try to do.
yeah, is that something that's taken a few years to learn your own style?
Yeah, maybe. And I don't think I have my own style because I like to try different styles.
Hmm.
At the moment, I really like the kind of minimalistic style, if that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Talk a
Yeah,
bit more about that. So minimalism is something that inspires you, and I think
yeah,
minimalistic lifestyles is something we're all living at the moment. So that's really quite relevant right now.
yeah. And it's just in photography, I like to focus on the smaller details in nature or in cities or whatever I'm taking photos of. And I think that's interesting to focus on something that you probably wouldn't see when you're just walking by.
Yeah, of course. I completely get that. And do you think that when we can go back to normal, I don't know when that might be in Finland, and we also have different dates here in the UK for when that might be a thing. But do you think when life starts to go back to normal slightly in the near future, that maybe your style will go away from minimalism and you'll try and capture the world in a different way again?
Maybe I'll try to find different views, but at the moment I really like the kind of minimalistic style. So I'm not saying that I will completely different way
No.
from there. So maybe I'll try to uh, do the minimalistic thing in kind of a different uh, location, maybe.
Oh, okay. So it's interesting you've said that, because a few of the chats I've already had so far with the other creators in the book is they've all sort of learned to appreciate where they are now in the world.
Yeah.
And do you think that there's now sort of, you want to explore more of Finland, having been in lockdown for so long?
Yeah, definitely. And like I said before, that sometimes I just don't have any inspiration because of the lockdown. But
Mhm.
still, sometimes I get a big inspiration and I want to take a picture of that. But because of the lockdown, I can't go there and take the picture. So I'm
Yeah,
just
and
waiting for to go places that I can't go now.
that's definitely the hardest thing in the moment. No matter
Yeah,
where you are in the world, like, you come up with these ideas, you want to go and go and get that shot, go and take on that goal, but you can't at the moment because of the restrictions. But
yeah.
I'm impressed from the work that you keep delivering, in the fact that you clearly are still motivated. But has there been quite a lot of moments perhaps then where you felt low, or you felt uninspired or not motivated?
Yeah, definitely. Uh, Quite a lot actually in the few months, past few months.
Oh,
But
recently.
yeah, it's
And
just I've had a lot of work, a lot of studies, and then the lockdown came, so there's much to focus on.
yeah, of course, and
But photography hasn't been a first thing in mind.
because of the rest of them.
Yeah,
And how does that sort of impact on you? Because photography, am I right in saying, is one of your biggest passions?
yeah, it is, and actually kind of a main hobby right now.
And
Yeah,
to not be able
yeah,
to do it as much must be
yeah,
painful.
yeah,
So,
and yeah, and one thing why I don't have any inspiration is like I like to photograph when it's sunny. I think that's easier for me.
yeah,
I
yeah.
find the shots and see the image in the nature, for example. And now it's been a long time that it's been just raining and really cloudy, so I just can't find a place to take pictures.
Finland sounds very similar to England. You know, we
Yeah,
have lots of poor weather, lots of rain and clouds, and just lots of windy weather.
yeah,
And Finland's obviously a lot colder, so you've got
yeah.
that as well. Um, but are you guys sort of heading into spring now, or is it still quite wintry over there?
It's actually snowing at the moment.
No, is it really? Wow.
Yeah,
See, it's funny you said that because if it snows over here in England, I know almost every creative in the country will want to be getting out there and getting those pictures. But if that's the normality sort of for quite a long time in Finland, I guess that's a bit
yeah,
uninspiring as well, isn't it? Because it's the same thing.
yeah. At the beginning, it's easy, and yes, it's snow again. But when it's 2 months have gone by and it's still snowing and cold, and you really start to miss the sun and warm weather.
And sort of, would you say then, perhaps I guess it's another thing that influences your motivation is, because it's cold and because it's the same weather and the same location and just being in that same constant cycle,
Yeah,
you kind of, it sounds like what you're dreaming of right now is just to break that cycle. Is that right?
yeah,
And
I guess.
maybe when or do you know how long you're roughly in lockdown for at the moment in Finland?
At the moment, it's they announced that it's 3 weeks, so maybe about 2 weeks from now still,
Okay.
and then they will see what the situation is, if they need to have it even further, or if it's time to kind of
Start
uh,
start going
yeah,
back. Yeah.
yeah. From my point of view, I think that it will go longer
Mhm.
because we are not in a good situation right now.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess, would you say that you're feeling less and less optimistic then?
Yeah,
And I guess, and I'm hoping that being a part of the project like this is kind of keeping your spirits high. But what are you doing at the moment to sort of keep yourself going? And you know, although photography isn't necessarily something you can do to the level that you want to right now, but what is it that's keeping you going in this moment right now?
I think maybe I'll just try to have my uh, kind of hopes that I can still do things I like.
Hmm.
I love to go snowboarding. That's a good,
Snowboarding.
yeah. So that's a good thing that it's still snowy, so that's possible.
And you're allowed to go out and
And,
do that at the moment.
yeah, and I actually went once this week, and there was no other people but me. So
Oh, really?
yeah, I think that's still pretty safe to do
And
because we
sort
don't
of,
keep the distance. Yeah,
even though you're on your own doing those things, I guess you're outside and you're in the real world, and it must just feel quite sort of, I don't know how good your English is, but we would probably say liberating. It makes you feel free.
yeah, definitely. And of course, it's still different than it should be in a normal time because it's just not normal that there's a ski slope and you're the only one there. That's just
No, I completely
yeah,
understand it, and I would love to chat to you longer about more of this, but our time is nearly up on the chat, and obviously you guys can go and check out more of Jenna's work. And if you decide to get one of the books, you'll see some of her amazing work inside of it. But Jenna, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you today, and
Yeah,
I
you too.
hope that I hope that having had this chat and being a part of this project, maybe it 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 can play its part in motivating you.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for letting me be a part of it. Part of it. This.
No, honestly, it's a pleasure to have you, and
Yeah.
to have someone with such a different style. So many people in the
Yeah.
book have these like fun, bubbly colors, and everything's really quite saturated, and it's kind of like life as we want to see it. But the way you've captioned it, and I think you really stand out in the book in the fact that your work encapsulates the world right now perfectly.
Thank you.
The quiet, the tones, sort of the negative space, everything about it is so spot on, and you clearly have an incredible eye for design. And I just want to say thank you again for joining us.
Thank you
And
so much. Yeah.
I hadn't really appreciated the position that Finland was in, and something I've said to a lot of the creators already so far within this journey is that, you know, it's as big a thing for me learning about your cultures whilst I'm at home, and it's not the conventional way of doing it, but you guys are culturing me and kind of opening up my experiences a little bit to what's going on in the rest of the world. So thank you for that as well. And I'm hoping that, let's hope, fingers crossed for you guys over in Finland, that in 2 or 3 weeks' time you can start to go back to normal a little bit, and hopefully you get a bit of sunshine and warm up a little bit so you can go take some more
Hopefully.
photos.
Thank you.
Um, but yeah, one more time I'll say thank you, and you can go check out Jenna's work in the book or online. I've got all of her socials, whether it's in the description or on screen. Go and drop her a little follow, and stay tuned for the next episode of the Chasing Light Collective. Thank you, Jenna.